Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is ConflctNerd Callum here today, bringing you another episode of Conflict World. We now have only 2 episodes to go, and in this episode, as you just seen, we went ahead and basically defined the forest area. So as you can see here, I've added in a lot more trees. I'm going to call this area the Enchanted Forest, these gentle rides here like I said in the last episode, and this here, RollerCoaster Avenue, just because there's a lot of roller coasters along here. However, it is sort of part of the Enchanted Forest. I just put a lot of trees around it. I think it looks really nice. We will add some more in at a later stage to give it a wee bit more detail, but we'll leave it for now because I don't want to sit spamming trees all the time. So we're going to start off today by building 1 or 2 rides which we haven't built yet. In these remaining 2 episodes, there's not too much left that I actually want to go ahead and build. I just want to try and get as many rides in which I've not already built into the park. And that's what I'm going to start off by doing today. So we've not got a diamond ride in yet, which I'm going to go ahead and build here. Go ahead and make this an abstract entrance. Continuing with the green colours, I'm not going to bother testing that ride because it's only a gentle ride, so I don't really think much can go wrong with that. So go ahead and build that there. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to build another magic carpet along here as well. I just feel the sides of the rollercoaster avenue is a bit bare. So that's why I want to go ahead and add in a few extra rides into here. So I'm going to build another magic carpet. Currently we've got a magic carpet in our snow area right now. It's in blue colours, but we don't have one at this side of the park. And it is a really popular ride. It's one of those like the motion simulators in the cinema that you'd have quite a few in your park, just because they're that enjoyable. So if we go ahead and very quickly change that to green, like so, and then I can go ahead and open you up as well. So that's 2 rides built so far. Now, going back over to the water area, we're going to build that crocodile ride, which I said I'd built in the last episode. I just finished editing the last episode. Actually, it was about a day ago now, actually, so I definitely remember that I need to go ahead and build this crocodile ride. Now, for this, what I think I might do is go ahead and do a wee bit of terraforming. Now, terraforming, we've only really done on, I think, 1 ride in this whole park, actually. It was the very first ride we built. And it does look really smart with the terraformed, as you can see the Ferris wheel here. I think that looks really smart with terraformed, but I don't think anything else is on terraformed land at all, coming to think of it. So we're going to go ahead and try our best with terraforming. However, terraforming, as we know, really isn't easy to go ahead and achieve good terraforming. That's one thing which I find very difficult to do. So we're going to start off by raising this area up here. So the entrance is going to be in between the maze and the shops here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have the terraforming here. Now, how realistic is it going to be? I don't really know. We'll have to see how it goes. What I'm thinking of doing is trying to make a nice marsh area. However, I don't know how that's going to go. Now, the problem is, to get the corners right, I have to be so pickety-nickety, and that's going to take me a while to do, so I will speed that part up when I get round to it. But I'm just trying to think how I want to do this. So, if we go ahead and do something like this, I'm just trying to lay it out in my head, and then we can build the ride around it. So this is what I'm going to do, something along these lines, and then if we go ahead and raise you up, then I'm going to do something like this. I'm very quickly just going to go ahead and make this into a hill. Alright, so that took way too long, and unfortunately when I go ahead and go away from focusing on the park for any period of time now, I have to go ahead and increase my park rating because it just dips as soon as I take a break. So every few minutes at the start of this episode before I actually started, and after I built this hill, which should take about 3 minutes in the end, I have to go back to the park entrance. People who are wanting to leave the park, I have to move them closer to the park entrance so they can exit, so I can increase my part rating. So hopefully my part rating will stay as it is, and that's one of the reasons why this series is pretty much wrapping up, just because there's so many issues now which I just can't control. So what we're going to go ahead and do is build our crocodile ride now. So we're going to build it along here. I don't want it to be as big as our King Rapids, because I do believe there's way too many rapids on that. There's a fair amount of people on that ride actually. It looks like people are having a good time, which is nice to see. There's actually a lot of people on there. The good thing is the queue really isn't that long because people seem to be going through at quite some rate, which is nice to see. Anyhow, so let's see what specials we got here. We got a fair few specials, which is nice to see. I mainly want to make use of this mountain. So we've got some reverse turntables, which looks like the main special of this ride here. So let's go ahead and let's get you up this hill. So I'm very quickly just going to do a loop here. And then we're going to have you straighten up and you're going to get some height. And we're going to, I guess, just do a random pattern on this hill that we've created here. It's not going to be anything too special, mind you. I would like to see the intensity maybe a little bit higher than previous rides. I realise I'm making inclines and I'm not really making them with the natural landscape, but oh well. Things aren't just aligning up as I want them to. So we have you sort of going around on yourself here. This is just a slow build up, and then we're just going to have a large drop, like so, coming down here. And then you're going to have to turn around there sharply. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have another build up. Shock horror, I do like build ups. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come along, you're going to come round twice, and then you're going to drop down right beside where you go up actually. Have my... Actually, I want to try to get a photo booth in there. So if we have you level out there, have a special photo booth section there, have you double loop there, drop down there, back onto the grounds, go ahead and get some of you's special turning things. Let's get a few bendy rights. You might... Ooh. This is going to be really difficult to achieve what I want to achieve here. Actually, we have to take that bendy right out. If we go ahead and it's just going to be a sort of snake. There we go. Actually, that works out quite well at the end. I like that wee snake there. So, that is the ride built. It's an interesting design. I don't mind it. It's one of my better customs, I think. I think that hill just, it does add a little bit, which is nice to see. My part rating's back below 700, so in a second, after I get this ride open, I'm going to have to go ahead and shift guests around. And we'll look at the complaints together, actually. So let's just go ahead and open this ride up. I don't think it's going to be that popular, but let's go ahead and get you very quickly tested. And then we'll go ahead and change the entrance again. The thing is, no matter what rides I build now, it's not going to increase the part rating. That's not the problem. So you're not building for fun anymore. You're building to solve the issues with your park. That is the major issue. So we're back over 700, so cancel that. I did have an issue with mechanics again, the mechanic glitch. This is sort of the issues right now, so I feel sick. You need to understand that that's 93 people out of 2,900 people. So that's really what, 1 in 30 pretty much feel sick, which isn't a large number, but I do need to put in more first aid facilities. But the problem is, people aren't always inclined to use them. That's the annoying thing. I have multiple around my park, but people just don't get that, you know, use them. They will help you out, they will make you feel much better, but people just either walk past them or often they just sit down as soon as they come out of a roller coaster, which I mean is understandable. I think I'm actually going to build one elevated there, right outside of the Great Whites. I can imagine this ride is causing a lot of the sickness, I really can. You can see these two numpties who are ill on a bench right beside the first aid room. Why don't you go into the... Okay, so we've actually got a first user in the first aid room here, which is good. So hopefully that will deal with some of that. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Great White is the best ride in the game, but it isn't going to be able to solve the first aid crisis or the sickness crisis itself, but hopefully it'll have a... Hopefully it'll just make a few people feel better. That's the purpose of it there. So, with that done, the part rating's bouncing around 700, always has been and sort of always will be for the next wee while. I don't know if you've completed a round yet, you've not quite, so we'll just wait for that to happen, and while we do that we'll add a little bit more decor. So I think this is a good chance to go ahead and put in some fountains. I really do. I'm just going to put them in randomly here actually. Let's go for just a few spread out. I'm also going to add in some more cactuses or cacti. I'm not at all sure what it would be in that case. So let's add a few in here, make this look a wee bit more realistic. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. It was a really bad voice break there. So that's that done. Is there any other things that could really fit in here? I don't really think so, to be honest with you. We can always go ahead and add in some of these. Cannons. I don't know if it really fits, to be honest, though, but it'll do. So now that's done, we're back below 700, which is really frustrating, and as you can just see, the correlation is just down, and it's pretty much non-stop down, which is really starting to get to me. So anyway, we can hopefully go ahead and open up this ride now. The test results should be in, so intensity and that sort of stuff isn't that high, but hopefully the ride will get some use anyway. I think King Rapids overall is actually doing really well. I'm really happy. I wasn't expecting it to do as well as it has done. Especially the excitement rating, intensity ratings are really not that high at all. But as you can see, there's lots of people. Every single one of these is pretty much full, which is nice to see. And there's 82 people on the ride, which is a fair amount. The crocodiles, these can't take as much people at once. But hopefully it should have a similar effect. And that's pretty much, I would say that's the water area complete now. That's this area complete. It's pretty much filled up. I mean, you've got a wee bit of area in this corner here and a wee bit over here as well, which could have additional rides, but by the end of this let's play I don't think I'm going to unlock any water rides. We've got Haunted House coming next, which is a really good one as well. However, that would be more appropriate probably in the Enchanted Forest area. So that's my park rating back above 700. That's the about 4th time I've had to move people to the entrance of the park, and one or two things I want to do before I wrap this episode up. So, staffing is becoming an issue. Basically the staff are outgrowing this park. We need more staff. That's the fundamental thing. So we need everything. We need handymen, we need entertainers, we need security guards. Vandalism is on the rise, and I can go ahead and show you that in our thoughts. And I can just see, just around the park, you can start to see a lot more broken benches. They are really appearing all over the place, so we need to go ahead and replace a lot of benches which are broken. So there are some here, which is not good to see. Quite a few there actually, which is really not nice. Hopefully we can go ahead and deal with that. I don't know if they can destroy bins or not. There's some broken benches at the front here, I do know that. There's just a fair amount of sick on the paths. Again, we managed to deal with that issue for a while, and that was great, but it's half sort of came back, you know, and it's something that I definitely do need to address. I'm just trying to think whereabouts there's more broken benches. I'm basically just going around all the food areas. Not too many there, 1 or 2 there though, and finally over to here. Not really seeing any more. Hopefully that sort of dealt with that issue. I'm going to go ahead and work on the mechanics. You're supposed to be responding to Magic Carpet, right? Magic Carpet 2, I believe. Now you're here and the Magic Carpet's over there, so it's really frustrating. It's the same problems over and over again, so hopefully you should get the new radio call. And every time that drops my part rating. That really does drop my part rating, stuff like that. So I need to go ahead and I have to do that manually every single time, which is really frustrating. Anyway, next thing I'm going to do is hire some more security guards just to patrol the areas here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire some more entertainers just to improve the guests' happiness. If I can do anything to just get 1 or 2 extra part rating points, I will do it at this stage, because it's just becoming a real battle. So let's hire quite a few. I want to see the different kinds of entertainers. So we have elephants, which is pretty cool, so we'll make you an elephant, we'll make you a bandit. Ideally I want to try have sort of all of these being different, and it looks like there possibly is 7 or 8 different ones. So we have a pirate there. What about you, sir? Let's make you a snowman, that would be appropriate for the snow section. Finally, what else do we have here? We got a sheriff, which I believe I don't have yet, and let's try and make you something different, a Roman costume. So there's 8 different costumes, and we've got 1 down of every single type, and they're all different. So these are all looking very interesting. Let's see the snowman. So the snowman is over Unfortunately I can't get much more zoom on, but as you can see, he's juggling snowballs on the bridge there, which is really cool. I've got a sheriff, which is really smart. You're a Roman actually, and that's really cool as well. I believe you're up here. That's him there, and he's looking very nice as well. So the snowman and the Roman, I guess they actually have specific areas, which would make sense if they were entertaining certain areas. But I think that's just a nice wee feature. It's nice to see them on the pathways. You can just see now that the paths are just beyond overcrowded, and I got a complaint earlier on when I was moving people to the front of the park, which is you should make your park more easier and better footpaths laid out, basically. Make it easier for guests to leave the park, and it's just, how am I supposed to lay the paths out better? I'm pretty sure the paths are pretty well laid out. There's lots of different routes you can go. It's really easy to know where the entrance to the park is, so it just really frustrates me and annoys me. We built another first aid room here though, because I can see there's quite a bit of sick built up there. I'm just going to hire another handyman, so that's us up to 30 handymen now actually, which is a fair few. We're bouncing around the 700 again. We've just dropped under it, which is kind of frustrating. I'm going to hire a new mechanic as well. Not that all the mechanics... The problem with the mechanics is that they just get stuck themselves. It's not really to do with the number of them. We've got more security guards and we've got more entertainers there. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this episode up here. In the next episode I'm going to build 1 or 2 more rides, and then we're going to go ahead and just talk about different areas of the park. We should hit 3,000 guests by next episode, and that is all for this video, so thank you very much for watching. My name is ConflctNerd and I'm out.